yourself off the ground. I said, young man, 'cause you're in a new town. There's no need to be unhappy, young man. There's a place you can go. I said, young man, when you're short on your dough, you can stay there, and I'm sure you.
That's hilarious.
And I love the memes. The memes just never get old. Like today, I tweeted out that I can't get enough winning. There's never such thing as too much winning.
It feels like 2016 again. You know, all the winning we were doing. You know.
Yeah, and seeing his picks now that he's picking compared to the rhinos he had on his cabinet in 2016.
Yeah, man.
What a difference!
I'm still concerned about a few of the rhinos that are still in there that I think they're going to try and, you know, do their shenanigans and hold some things up. But I hope that these rhinos in Congress, they see the mandate that was put forth. I mean, that they want to, you know, F around and find out, you know, we'll primary their asses in 2 years, you know, and because I'm gonna tell you right now that I'm not gonna put up with it. Like we had, you know, as you know, we talked about last week. I know Chris brought up talking about was it Scott being nominated? Was it Rick Scott? You know, for the majority leader, and I had my reservations, but the only options they gave us was McCornyn and Thorne and Scott. Hell no, I'm in Texas. Hell, and McCornyn's right down the road from me. I literally moved out of his district because of his rhino ass. I'm telling you that right now. He needs to go. He's no different than
Ted Cruz woke up this morning and finally said he's voting for Rick Scott. Now, what his secondary vote was, you can't blame the man for the secondary vote because they eliminated Scott, and then it was only between Cornyn and Thune. Thune ended up winning. He did give a press conference afterwards, but this is something that Elon tweeted today. Elon is threatening to fund primary challengers against congressmen and senators who go against the Trump agenda. So, you know, he's going to use his PAC to really go after people who don't go after the agenda.
And I'll do everything I can in Texas to help with that.
This is what Thune said today. I'm extremely honored to have earned the support of my colleagues to lead the Senate in the 119th Congress, and I'm beyond proud of the work we have done to secure a majority in the White House. This Republican team is united behind President Trump's agenda, and our work starts today. So that's good. And then he tweeted this out, just got off the phone with Donald Trump, are excited and ready to get work implementing President Trump's agenda. So as long as he's for the agenda, that's okay. I mean,
and he's better to me, in my opinion, than McCornyn, man. Thank God, that guy just needs to just go.
Well, they need to adjourn and do recess appointments.
Yeah, you said it earlier.
If they do that, then I think that anybody that was supportive of Trump's agenda will be fine with. They will probably the Republican Party in the Senate and the House will probably just go skyrocket because of the fact that, you know, their approval ratings will go up because of the fact that right there will be a sign that they're saying up front now bills and things like that future, you know, to be able to talk about them and stuff like that. But if they do recess appointments, I mean, there's no one in the Trump camp or anybody that voted for Trump, whether in their camp or not, anybody that voted for the agenda of Donald Trump, they do recess appointments that pretty much you couldn't be upset with any of the Republicans in Congress.
Yeah, that's true. And all eyes are going to be on Thune. And when they mentioned JD Vance, technically he's the president of the Senate. So like, I don't see there being an issue with this.
He's just a tiebreaker, really. I mean, that's all. But now there is a thing that they could have. He could have been the leader of the Senate because was it Jefferson or I forget who it was that served as vice president and president.
He could have. He could have, yeah.
But I think that honestly, if they do recess appointments, then they're fighting a battle that they don't need to fight later on when they go against Trump about some type of bill or something like that. They can easily stand on the fact that we handed him every appointment. You know, he was able to put the people that he wanted in key places. We didn't fight him on it. now we're fighting him on this or whatever. They'll have some room to stand on later on. If they don't do recess appointments, they fight all their nominees, and it takes forever to go through to get people approved and all that stuff. The same problem that Trump had his first term. So.
And Schumer's going to try some BS to fight
recess appointments pretty much just null and voids any of that.
Yeah, that would end that.
And there's two things though, because you have Gates resigned from the Senate or from the House. So he's actually resigned so that Florida can do a special election in 8 weeks. So the seat won't be empty at all. And what's the guy? He's in Kentucky. Great guy. He's going to be in part of Department of Agriculture. I forget him. He's a real good guy, and his wife passed away recently, and he was on Tucker Carlson.
Let's see. Here's all his appointments right now.
EPA. No,
It's not the EPA. No, EPA is going to be.
He's not listed on there. I thought that he had accepted an appointment to work at Department of Agriculture or something like that. He's from Kentucky. He lives off grid. He literally.
Maybe that was a rumor.
But he was asked today, and they said, "What do you think about Gates?" And he's like, "It doesn't matter. Recess appointments." And they said, "Well, do you think he'd be confirmed?" And they're like, "He's going to be the AG. Suck it up."
Oh, I know. I saw the tweet on that guy. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and he's a really good guy, and a lot of people like him. And I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. And he's like real close to where I'm at. Oh my goodness, great guy. But
yes, so far Trump's picks are fire. Can we do a welfare check on Prado?
No.
Prado has gone
Thomas
off
Massey.
Thomas
Massey. That's who it is.
Oh, Massey.
Massey. That's
I was trying to Twitter.
Thank you.
Or trying to Google it.
Yeah. Thomas Massey. And he's a great guy. His wife passed away suddenly, like 6 months ago, whatever. He was on Tucker Carlson. He's built him and his wife. His wife is like a genius. He graduated MIT. He's created a whole house and everything that runs off renewable energy and everything, lives off the grid. He built this house with all the lumber from the land that he owns. And this guy's sitting in Congress. But
gotta love it.
Yeah, he's a great guy. But yeah, we're not doing well on this show. I don't give a shit with that.
What about your girl, Tulsi there?
Tulsi, man. Nominated for the Director of National Intelligence. Holy shit.
Where's Tulsi on this?
She's
list?
up there at the top.
Yeah, put her up at the top. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're all
Director
good.
of National Intelligence. So now I don't think she's going to be on the terror watch list anymore. That's
she is the watch list.
I mean, that to me, that's one of those things that it's incredibly idiotic.
You're going to be on the
to be
Tulsi
there.
list.
She's a lieutenant colonel in the Army Reserves, and her position that she has to have some type of clearance. Okay. She doesn't have Tulsi Gabbard right now has a clearance lower than what I had, but she still had a clearance. There's no way that she could have any kind of a clearance and be on a watch list. That I don't even understand how that's even possible.
It's dirty. It's dirty because she shut down Kamala, man. Remember after that debate.
Yeah, but my whole thing is like, okay, you want to put her on there or you legally have to put her on there. I mean, there's a difference. Okay, so if we want to do things, I want everybody to have $1 million. Legally, I don't think if I was like the president or I can't do that, right? You can't do so. It's like you can't legally.
3, 2, 1, go.
Bitch, I'm stylish. Glock talk, big t-shirt, Billy. Watch on my wrist, but I want that tight. Niggas talk crazy when I pull up in sight. Alright, run that shit back, bitch, I'm stylish. Glock talk, big t-shirt, Billy. Watch on my wrist, but I want that diamond. Niggas talk crazy when I pull up in sight. Hey, hey, fuck up first class, I'm put it in perspective. Bitch, I got everything I wanted and some extra. I am not the type to turn it into a detective. Got to on my own phone, barely even check.
I was waiting. I didn't know I had audio. I forgot, but that's gonna be the director of intelligence there, man. So
Yo,
what do
were
think?
you? Did you mean to cut Chris off, or did you?
I didn't know. No, I did not mean to do. I didn't know. I was gonna play it while he was talking. I didn't realize I had audio. My bad, Chris. My bad. I didn't mean to disrespect the guy that has more.
I think.
But I mean that whole stuff, and there's all kinds of little things here and there. So
I remember that. Yeah.
my point to all that is that stuff's crazy. It's just there's so many stories over the last 3 years that are just beyond that.
They're nuts.
But I agree with a ton of things that are going on. But just like I was watching and a lot of people were watching over the last 3 years, I'll be watching over the next 4 years, them doing those types of things and stuff like that. And they'll need to be called out and everything. A lot of these people, I don't think that they will. Actually, I think there'll be a lot more transparency because, like I go back and say, Trump needs to pick these guys and basically needs to do like a victory tour for a while and just like smile and wave and kiss babies and stuff like that. He needs these guys to do their jobs. And most of these people that are in these positions that he's picked, that, even if they don't get it, there's not recess appointments. These people have political careers in the future. Most of them are in their 40s.
That is true.
They're not going to go down with if Trump comes out and wants to do something psychotic or crazy or something like that. These people aren't going to be like, I'm going to ruin my political career so that you can be happy. He's got a legacy, and these people have a future. So between the two of them, all these picks that he's got, they have to make their name. I mean, Defense Secretary, Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, these people have a future, and they don't have much of a future if they're not doing what the people have asked them to do.
How about these two, huh?
Dude,
They created a Twitter.
So ready for that.
Hold on one second.
Think
about this. You have the president-elect of the United States put out a statement today with the official statement has Doge in it.
Yeah.
a meme
Doge, and actually Doge popped a little bit. Yeah, it popped a little bit.
But the whole thing, if you were a Doge holder, you couldn't possibly have written this story any better. You got Elon Musk jumps out there loving Doge, and then
he's a prophet. Elon knew this was coming 4 years ago. He was smarter than the rest of us. He's like, I'm going to go on Saturday Night Live and incorporate Doge in it, and somehow I'm going to be head of the Department of Government Efficiency, and I'm going to turn. He knew. I don't know how he knew.
Yeah,
it's crazy. He created a Twitter today for Doge, and he said how transparent they're going to be. If they cut anything, it's going to be said on Twitter, and everybody's going to know about it and know the reasons why they did it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, X is the new media because CNN's ratings have dropped 27%, and MSDNC.
They're about to have a major layoff, man.
Yeah, I mean, MSDNC's trying to sell now. Comcast is saying, let's get rid of you guys. They're down 54% because Joyless Reed's still up there being like, I told you.
She's one of the most
racist Joyless Reed
human beings I've ever seen in public in my life.
They just all have to take their Trumpinol and all will be better. Okay. A good dose of Trumpinol. I know who did take his Trumpinol, and you can see they're best friends now. They are so good. Look at them. They're by the fireplace. They're talking. Oh,
I wonder if Trump talked to him about the Lincoln bedroom.
Look at
that story about the Lincoln bedroom.
The story. Yeah, I remember went off on that one, man. That's hilarious.
Oh, by the way, he was wrong. Tad, the Lincoln's son, Tad, did not die young. He lived. It was his other son. He was 4 years old. I forget his name.
It happens. You mix up the sons.
Trump was a little bit off on that, but the fact check on it, people out there going,
still voted for
lied.
him? You still voted for him after he lied about which son?
He's a liar, guys.
We got the names mixed up, but so
did you hear what happened today, though?
What's that?
So when they were meeting in the Oval Office, Kamala walked in, and so this is what Joe Biden did. You could see Trump's face like, bitch, get out of here.
Like, awkward.
Get away from me.
Yeah.
But do you know this is in honor of their friendship? Here's Biden and Trump friendship.
What I love about the AI, man, his hair just like naturally just flows. You know, AI
Yeah,
is
but
amazing.
but the two of them on that motorcycle like that, man, that no.
Nah.
I mean, they are.
Yeah, why is Trump in the back? Is what I'm at. Why is he not a?
Why? But you look at them, I think their legs are joined. That's AI like join their legs. If you look at it slowly, you're like, what? Where's the other leg?
All I know is Biden had a smile that you could not take off his face today.
The whole time.
Me
Yeah.
and my friend were talking about this on my ride home from work. He called me and he's like, Biden has been sabotaging this whole time. Pelosi basically said they wanted to have a primary. And Biden, remember, he came out right away and endorsed her, saying she should be the nominee. So basically hijacking it. Then every time she did something big, Biden would go and do something crazy, just like calling us garbage while she's on the front lawn speaking to 40,000 people. You know, he stole all the headlines from her every time. He was secretly working with Trump the whole time.
Well, I think one thing that we need to think about here, and we probably won't know the answer till somebody writes a book 4 to 6 years from now. When Melania writes her book, and they all do, so you would imagine somebody's going to be, she might include it in there, but it was reported that Joe Biden gave Donald Trump a letter for Melania Trump.
That was reported, yes. Handed
So-
her a letter.
We'll never know. We won't know. But if she writes a book later on, we might look back at, and if she puts it in there, we might look back and be like, oh, yeah,
They were
probably
saying she was so mad at raiding their house because they went in Barron's bedroom and stuff, and she didn't.
Well,
she
they
didn't
went
like-
the whole thing, and to all that stuff that they happened. You remember that? I mean, go back and look at the film. They raided his home, and to all that, and to now what today Jack Smith came out and said they're requesting to delay it, you know, to put it on hold or whatever. It's like you did all that. I mean, to me, it's shocking because then you see what Biden was doing and all the stuff that they found from Biden, but Biden was a vice president. Trump was a president. There's a difference there.
Yeah.
So
And then they said he's not fit enough to stand trial.
I had somebody send this to me here a moment ago. This is what actually AI actually cut all these images out. But this was actually in the meeting. Yeah.
look, he's even got Trump shoes and then a busted Trump. And then those aren't those like the four
I just noticed the
five-
shoes. That's funny. That's
the
funny
most
stuff.
awesome, like those are the biggest. Those pictures will go down in history. All
yeah,
five.
I
of
mean,
those.
they're all iconic photos.
Yeah.
All of them, man.
Only Trump can take a mug shot and make mugs and turn it into a positive. Like he did
Wasn't that the first thing that he posted on X when he came back?
Yep. He loves it.
He's such a troll.
He is,
Oh, I
man.
forgot to play this. Barry mentioned the comment for Elon. So what do you do here? This is a clip I had for that for Doge.
What would you say you do here?
Well, look, I already told you. I deal with the goddamn customers so the engineers don't have to. I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
You're fired. Get out of here.
Dude, I absolutely love. That's one of my favorite movies, man. That's from Office Space. So if you don't know where that scene's from, there's a movie called Office Space, and those guys are both those guys in there that Elon and Vivek were playing are named Bob. So when the Bobs come to talk to you, they're basically efficiency consultants. They come in and you talk with them and getting fired. But that's hilarious, dude. So what would you say you actually do here? I'm a
I
people
like
person,
the
damn
one,
it.
the one with from
Love it.
Entourage, with the guy that runs the
Oh
The,
yeah, Ari.
Ari. He
Yeah.
goes in, he fires, he shoots everybody. He's like, he said he wrote it on the board. Get the F out of here. You're all fired. And he's going around shooting them all, paint guns stuff.
Hey guys, I saw a post on X from Candace Owens, who I absolutely follow. You know, I love her commentary, man. But this is I'm gonna post it up
The
real
girl
quick.
Candace.
Candace, She says, we have the House, the Senate, and the Oval Office. If the Republican Party really believes in small government, they can vote in term limits and do away with many of the bureaucracies that the American people never voted for. These next 2 years will be clarifying for conservatives, and I completely 1,000% agree with her. Let's see who it's gonna expose the rhinos 100%.
100%.
And this is what we
be
need.
Nice
guys.
to get 91,000 views in 3 minutes on any of my posts.
Yeah,
Oh,
it would be. But
my record's 50
Well, I think that having Elon Musk go to the Republican conference today in the House, and him saying that his PAC will be primarying people out, and I think that
ovation too.
I think that the first test will be is how much Elon Musk's PAC is involved in the Matt Gaetz special election that's coming up now that he resigned. So if
Tim
he
Pool,
has
man. What Tim Pool says, Chris. I know you follow Tim Pool as I do. Check out what he says.
Love Tim Pool.
He says any Republican who obstructs or blocks Matt Gaetz' confirmation will receive the full political force I can muster. This is Tim Pool saying this, that I can muster up to make sure you lose your next
you know why
primary.
Tim Pool's saying that?
And I know I'm not the only one. Why is that? I'm gonna go ahead and like this, guys.
Tim
Boom.
Pool, about 6 months ago, he went to DC, and when he went to DC, he sat down with like all kinds of Republicans. The Democrats wouldn't come in and talk to him. He did his show from there.
He said he invited all of them.
I remember that.
He did several days, and one of the ones he did was with Matt Gaetz, and him and Matt Gaetz had a long conversation afterwards. So then Matt Gaetz comes and does his show like at Tim Pool's house, or wherever they do their shows at. And he went there and he expanded on all types of different things and everything like that. And Tim Pool was just like, Matt Gaetz, you're awesome. So, I mean, it was a lot of conversation they had off camera and on camera that was like,
what's your thoughts on Matt Gaetz? Because my friends seem to be mixed on him. They think he's sleazy.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, Matt Gaetz is a congressman from, in Florida where we go and what and everything that we own down there. And he's always been a good guy. Every time, like any kind of thing that comes up, he's knowledgeable about it. And he's kind of a dick about it too. He stands
his ground, man. He stands his ground.
And he
could have easily backed down the whole McCarthy thing, but remember at the GOP I was gonna say at the DNC, but at the
he was getting shit on.
He went up to McCarthy and says, "You need to get out of here. No one likes you here." Remember that? And everybody, and he got shit on for that.
RNC, but
RNC,
with him is he always gets
GOP, RNC, DNC.
I was like, I get the impression from him, he gets really pissed off when people do stupid stuff and he has to get involved, because every single time that something's come up locally and everything like that, it's like, why would you be doing that in the first place? And then he gets involved and he's like, seriously, are you guys idiots? Why are you doing that? And some of the conversations that he has and some of the cross-examinations that he has in the House that he does publicly and everything like that. I mean, he's saying the things that a lot of people are thinking when they have those people up there and they're asking him questions.
When they're doing the hearings and stuff, dude, he's straight up, man. Yeah, you're right. Now, the only thing that I've heard
like Nancy Mason, those hearings, she's like, just goes right in.
The only things that I've heard about Matt Gaetz is they gave him shit about because apparently he had like some work done to his face or something. But who gives a fuck? I don't care about that. So they're trying to say, oh, he's all fake. He's Showtime is what he is. But no, I've been watching.
If you look back at Matt Gaetz,
I got a filter on that makes my face look good. Do you think it looks this smooth?
Yeah, I got no filters, dude. There's no filter with me.
We know, bro.
You can't fix this shit.
Can't fix the
look, I have wrinkles on my forehead. Where the hell are the wrinkles? This filter's great. Oh my goodness. Look at
really? Yeah, wrinkles. Oh, they're there. I see them.
Matt Gaetz, you look back at Matt Gaetz when Matt Gaetz was single before he met his wife now, she's awesome and she's a great singer. But before Matt Gaetz was married, he was a little chubby and he was a little party boy and all that kind of stuff. and he looked kind of rough. And man, I think that wife of his, because she's a pretty healthy eater and like earthy and all that kind of stuff, and you know, she's a conservative, but I think she keeps him in line, dude.
And that's usually what happens when a man, you know,
Yeah.
has a
When a
woman.
man meets a woman.
Yeah, because he was
When he
riding
loves
the
women, but you're on your
coattails
way.
of his father. He was riding the coattails of his father
Yeah,
back
yeah.
then, and then he went on and did.
But you're saying
has
I got to
done
meet
some
a
pretty
lady, and that will help. Like,
You
Nine
take care of
times out
yourself.
of
Well,
10, I'm telling you, people say it's you know, a
it's
good
not for
woman.
lack of trying. Okay, I've been ghosted 3 times this week.
gotta keep at it, man. Look, behind every no, closed door is a yes. She's got to
You
stay
know what?
on it, man.
First
Every
off,
girl that says no to me, it's like I'm like, fine, you don't deserve this.
That's right.
And
You
I'm
know your
always
worth,
like,
man.
Greek,
turn around.
Greek, build your empire without the need for a significant other.
There it is.
As I'm telling you, because when they come and go, bro. But if
I
you
knew
build
this
that
old guy was
empire,
wise.
and then you find that person that is agreeable with the empire that you've built, you're good to go.
Maybe once I get my Cybertruck, they'll just be flocking my way. You know, they'll be like,
Well, as long as you keep doing the Bitcoin thing we've always
They'll
talked
be-
about,
they'll be
they'll be
shotgun.
showing up.
shotgun.
Yeah. All you gotta do is
Z29.
flash your wallet.
Come here.
Flash your wallet. Yeah, I owe about 20 Bitcoin.
Yeah, but you
I'm
got to
good,
be
dude.
careful about that. Greek, you don't want you want a woman that's going to be like, yeah,
No.
you have your Bitcoin, and she brings to the table double your Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, ladies, I
She's
want
gonna be
double
like,
the-
yeah, you got this time. I got double what you got, and you're gonna be like, I love you more. And she's
And
like,
I don't want any ladies who think like this, you know. I pledge to withhold sex in protest of the election. This is going on. Liberals are crazy. And then the guys are like, if you actually possess that level of discipline, abortion wouldn't have been the #1 issue for you, which is 100% true. Like, do you see the ladies now? They're not only saying they're not going to sleep with anybody, some are saying they're going to become lesbians, and others are shaving their heads so they become just atrocious looking. It's just hilarious. I can't believe all this
Pretty
stuff.
sad, man. It's pretty sad. But look at this. Trump's hasn't even walked into the White House officially yet. And these women are already practicing abstinence. In fact, I saw a post on Ground News. I sent it to a buddy of mine who's he's the I guess the town whore, if you will. The guy just gets around, and we all make fun of him. I always say he's got an STD or something like that, you know, just jack with his ass. But yeah, I saw something on Ground News that said that even STDs are on a decline, and I was like, damn, Trump's winning all over the place, man.
I know he's fixing America, making
Yeah,
America healthy again.
It's
getting
freaking
rid
just
of
it's just a
STDs,
reset,
all that
man.
stuff.
I was trying to find there's a meme out there where Tim Walz is going like this, and it says Planned Parenthood when they find out that their best customers are going sexless.
Yeah, man. That's right, Gus. Your wife usually keeps us guys in line because guys never mature. That's true. We don't. Well, we get to a mature point, right? We just never cure. I think is the main thing.
100% true.
Yeah, but my wife gives me purpose, I think. But I agree with Chris. You know, build your kingdom first. And I want my wife to not have to worry about anything. You know, like
This is
something
what I
happens.
want. Okay. I want to be such a bad motherfucker that even my tie gets out of my way.
No, you're
Okay.
maybe your tie gets out of your way. Like, your tie like
Did you
this.
see the Fetterman comment that Trump is God tier trolling?
Yeah. He said he
said that?
actually approves of the Secretary of State pick for what's his face? Rubio.
Rubio? Yeah, he actually got nominated, didn't he? So
Yeah.
what do you think about that? What do you think
So
about that,
that's
Chris? Rubio?
That's another seat that's got to be filled by DeSantis. So that one's not,
If Trump doesn't call DeSantis, I'll be happy about that. But I truly believe that DeSantis should nominate Laura Trump.
what do you think about this?
Really?
I had another thing
But
because Laura Trump
can't
would have to be
call DeSantis and ask him to do it.
Laura Trump, if she doesn't want to do it, let's suppose she doesn't want to do it, and you're saying they're having a special election for Gates' seat, they should do another one for Byron Donalds' seat and elevate Byron Donalds to the Senate if Laura Trump doesn't want it. That's what I would. I love.
I'm all for that, but the only thing I think Byron Donalds isn't out of the realm of. See, the only problem is Trump can't be taking too many people in good districts because Byron Donalds' district is pretty solid red, but it wasn't always.
I agree with the Laura
Anna
Trump
Paulina
thing.
Luna is another one that would be considered for somebody. I mean, I have a affinity to some of these people.
She nominated Trump, Laura Trump.
Luna's husband is special ops. So and we didn't spend time together, but we spent time together at different bases. That
I was going to say, if you
I don't think
her,
Richard Hudman
get her
is,
on the show. She'd come on.
Richard Hudman is
Johnson,
not special. I don't think Richard Hudman's special ops, but he knows what I'm talking about. Herbert Field and all that, and all the stuff that goes on down there. But 100%. She can't come out of her district. That district was blue for like 20 years, and then she came along and flipped it. So, but honestly, I mean, Byron Donalds, I think there's a lot of opportunity there, but who fills Byron Donalds' seat?
Yeah, that's the trouble.
That is very important.
He's a beast.
It's more important in the Senate part because basically the person that takes over the Senate seat for Marco Rubio, you're in it for the remainder of his term, which he's got 4 years left, I think. So he's 2 years into his 6-year term. So you got 4 years. Just vote Republican. You don't really have to be even controversial. Just vote Republican.
Laura Trump in that seat, I feel she's such a bulldog. I feel like she would keep some of the guys in line, some of those old ass rhinos, like really call them out. She wouldn't care. Like,
but wouldn't that be like a really big peace offering from DeSantis to Trump?
I think she's the best choice, but I'm just saying she has to want to do it, and it would be awesome.
Now here's another scenario. I think that he would have to have a conversation with Laura Trump because bottom line is, he's got 2 years. It'll only be a 2-year appointment. He's 4 years into his 6 years from what I understand. I might be wrong. You guys fact check.
I think that's right. I think he's got 2 years left because
she goes in with the understanding that DeSantis runs for Senate in 2 years, and Trump and all the Trump organizations supports him for Senate because he'll be term limited out like next year. So
who, Rubio?
No, DeSantis. He won't be the governor of Florida anymore. So he gets, I think, next year, the election next year.
Somebody was saying DeSantis could appoint himself for that seat.
Well, he'd have to resign he couldn't. No, he couldn't. He can't do the same.
Somebody mentioned that today, and I'm like, I don't even think that's possible. I didn't think.
No, I think he's going to have an understanding with them, and I don't think it's going to be one of those things that's written or they even talk about it. But basically, it's going to be like she could be there temporarily, and which would be good for a resume and stuff like that and all that. And then maybe she could run for, who knows? But DeSantis is going to want a placeholder for when he gets done being governor so he can run for Senate. I don't think he's even I will move to Florida. He's going to be the president in the future. But but having a Senate, a governor, a House of Representatives, governor, and senator before you're running for president, it's all going to look good on his resume. So he's not going to sit around and wait for 2028. He's going to be doing something in the meantime, and he may not go in 2028, maybe 2030 or 2032 or whatever, but he's going to be running for president and him having a Senate seat. So whatever this is, the 2 years is going to be a placeholder, I think. And Laura Trump would be perfect because she's not a regular politician. She's probably like it for a little while. She gets rewarded. She's done.
Yeah, and she could get some of Trump's agenda, rile people up, keep them honest there, because she can start leaking things because she doesn't care. And do you know how everybody makes fun of Jim Cramer? Because he's always wrong. I love it.
Do you know that there's a thing out there, like a trading platform that does the inverse of
Cramer?
Inverse Cramer, and it's like up 56%.
It's ridiculous.
They picked
it's
the
still
exact
not as good as the
opposite of what
Pelosi
Cramer
bit,
says.
It's still not as good as the Pelosi bit. ridiculous.
Gus knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. Rick Scott did the same thing.
Yeah. Rick Scott did that, yes. DeSantis, I think he realizes it's going to be tough to. Well, if Trump gets his agenda done and the country's doing well, it's going to be hard.
He couldn't smooth things over with Trump and any more than he possibly. He's going to need the mega conservative Trumps, whatever. He fractured it. I think he's great. I like both of them, but no matter what ends up happening, all that kind of stuff, that would be a huge repair job, and DeSantis will need Trump's support.
It would be a
in 2
gimme.
years.
It would be a gimme Senate seat for him. Basically, he could win that easily.
Yeah, that
Carrie
Carrie Lake stuff is weird. Dude.
Okay, Carrie Lake.
How does she get more than?
She has more votes than Kamala. He has more. Ruben Gallego has more votes than Kamala, and there's like 81,000 votes without a presidential pick, and have Ruben Gallego. So something fishy's going on there. But let me show you this, because this happened in the Senate race in Wisconsin. Remember, I said Hobb was leading, and we were fine with that because, Trump got elected. Nothing's going to happen now. Trump's already been nominated. Well, here's what happened. Look at 4 a.m. Look at that jump up. That doesn't happen. Supposedly there was a ballot dump, and 90% of the votes went towards her opponent, Baldwin, at that time. Or was it Slockett? I forget who it is. But it's ridiculous. So they stole some Senate seats. Like, yeah, we got 53 seats, but like some of these seats were stolen. Carrie Lakes is very, very sus to me because they kept saying most of the votes are coming from red counties that are still to count, and she's got a path. And then all of a sudden he's pulling away further. How do you have two senators getting more votes? I don't know. They got to look at this stuff because it definitely happened. And at 4 a.m., there was the same thing for Kamala Harris in Wisconsin. But like Trump's been saying, too big to rig. There's a reason. They couldn't rig it enough to steal Wisconsin because it would have been too obvious. She was down too much. And that's exactly
but one thing, with all that being said and everything like that, it's like, don't even look at charts or anything like that. You're telling me that somebody goes in and they vote for Trump. Now they're voting for Trump, but then they're saying they're at the top of the ballot. They're like voting for Trump. Then they scroll down a little bit lower and they get to the Senate one and they don't vote Republican. They vote Democrat, knowing that Trump will need as much support as possible. So they're going to vote for Trump, but they're not going to vote for the Democrat. I've always thought, or the Republicans.
Yeah,
I always thought that was weird.
Thing.
Down ballot.
Trying to explain. My brother said this to me. He goes, maybe they know they want Trump, but they don't trust him 100%. Some of these people who like have switched over, so they voted for the senator down ballot.
Then don't vote for him
just
if you
so they
don't
can keep him in line. And I go, that doesn't make sense because here's the problem.
Cool story, bro.
I watched every one of Trump's rallies. You guys know that. I watched every single one of them. In every single swing state, Trump was on with the Senate candidate. So it wasn't like these people weren't known. Like Dave McCormick was, every time Trump was at a rally in Pennsylvania, Dave McCormick took the stage with him. Every time Trump was in Arizona, Carrie Lake took the stage with him. Every time he was in Nevada, Sam Brown took the stage with him. Every time he was in Wisconsin, Havdi took the stage with him. So these weren't like, people knew these were a pair and Trump was behind these guys. So you think their votes would have been like similar, and to see stuff like this, it doesn't make sense. And, as a stats guy, when you see their votes, they lifted together at the same time. Okay. But then you see at 4 a.m., you don't get shots up like that for one candidate. It just doesn't happen. Like when you're counting votes, it's a slow trickle in. That's how
it only happens for Democrats, man. It's crazy.
I mean,
right?
You saw every state last time in 2020. Just that doesn't happen. That's not how it happens. You don't get a 4 o'clock, like 90% of the votes coming for one candidate. And you could say, maybe they were withholding votes when no, there's like these states got to get it together because Florida's shown you the way of how elections should be done. 45 minutes. They had 95% of the votes counted in the state. It's not like they're like the third most populous state.
Actually, they should do it like Mississippi. Bam! As soon as the
Yeah,
polls
two
close,
Mississippians just give
0%
it red.
reporting Trump won.
I actually thought they might do that for Florida this year, but nobody had the confidence to do that. I was like, that
Most
would be
people don't mess
badass.
around in Florida though. After 2000, they were like, no, we're not.
But see,
messing
that's
around
what's
anymore.
got to happen for you want election integrity. I don't care if a Democrat beats out. I just want to know that the ballots were actually what the people put in.
Well,
Okay?
look
And when I
at look
see
at
this
the
stuff-
look at where that says that you don't need voter ID.
Yeah.
I mean, all the blue states.
Every
So-
state Kamala won has
Every-
no voter ID.
Yeah.
Is there a
Hello.
coincidence? Do you know?
Oh, we have a correction, by the way. Last week we talked about how Oklahoma was all red. It was the only state.
Yeah.
West Virginia was also all red.
Oh, so that blue county probably flipped late. That
Yeah,
makes
so West
sense.
Virginia is all red and Oklahoma. So
Hey,
when
good
Oklahoma
state.
did that, West Virginia said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah. See, and this is the thing. We need to have this election integrity because I've been doing my own polling in Illinois and I wear my Trump hat everywhere. And in past years, people were like, don't wear it out. I wear it everywhere. And no one gives me shit. No one. I've not gotten a single thing. And then you're telling me the county I live in where I don't get any shit. I go to the grocery stores, people are fist bumping me left and right. We only lost by 2,000 votes in my county. So but part of it goes up by Cook County, which is the Chicago area. So a lot of the libs are towards the city there. Sucks.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty brave that you're actually wearing it out. What you're wearing it in your county, though. But like,
No, but
you can.
one
do
thing I
that
said
in-
is,
in our
why
area.
should I be embarrassed to support a candidate? I know why I support him. I know what I like about him. And people always, if they did say something, oh, you support a rapist, you support this, you support that. And I'm like, no, I support my groceries being cheaper. I support gas being cheaper. I support Americans being put first,
No, I
not
mean,
put
I
last. I
support-
support no overseas wars. I
Who
support
cares?
peace. But you know what? But that's the thing is like, I know why I support the candidate I do. But a lot of these people, they're like, there are a lot of Trumpers who are scared to wear their stuff. And I'm like, you shouldn't be scared to support who you like. If you like a candidate, put it out. I'm still, like I said last week, if a Kamala person was in need next to me, I will be the first person to help them out. It has nothing to do with who you support. You have freedom of your choice. That's what's great about this country. And, but you only see it from the libs. Like I don't hear many stories of Trump. And then when you hear the FEMA stories that come out and they're like, oh, the Trumpers are giving. No, they're not. You're just creating this narrative just to spew this hate. There's not that stuff. I mean, if Biden thought Trump was so bad today, this would not have happened in the Oval Office today.
well, yeah. Think about this.
I got the clip of them actually shaking hands. I'm going to play it really quick. It's
Go ahead.
a minute 48, so we can.
Leader of the free
All
world.
right, let's go to this. They're meeting.
Looking forward to having like we said, a smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So, welcome.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much. And politics is tough, and it's in many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate very much a transition that's so smooth. It'll be as smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate that, Jim.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
All right, we can cut it off there. The rest is just them blabbering. But do you see how, like, if he truly believed this was the next Hitler, he's not doing that stuff. And that's what I try to explain to people. This guy is not the person. And Elon said that today in one of his tweets. I got to look it up. He basically was saying that I've been hanging around with him, and all I hear is stories of how amazing Trump is, and I've seen it firsthand. He's basically like, whoa, what's the narrative they've been painting him, and what is the actual truth? Truth is, hang out with somebody and you see it.
Yeah, just absolutely, you'll learn for yourself, right? Here, that's just it. For the last 2-3, since 2020, 2021, they've been calling this guy Hitler, a racist, a sexist, a rape, all these things, right? And specifically, as we've last heard, up until the election, that he was a threat to democracy. If he was such a threat to democracy, why in the hell would Biden be allowing him into the White House, smiling, shaking his hand? Not only that, where are all where's the outcry? How come the Democrats right now aren't like, flying off the handle right now? This guy's in the White House.
He's a threat. He's a threat. He's a racist.
He is not a threat. That tells you that they've been lying this whole freaking time. And in fact, they've been lying so much that, CNN in 2016, they had 15 million views on the election coverage. This last week, on the last election for 2024, they had 5 million views. They lost their asses on this one. MSNBC actually beat them this time. But with that being said,
I can report
they're about to start.
We're doing our job. Okay.
Yeah, right.
And what you say we have 800 views?
We had 800 viewers on election night.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
Somebody liked what we were doing. I don't know who.
Yeah, we appreciate that, guys. And
awesome.
I'll tell you, that the fact that CNN is now there's a reckoning for these guys are actually realizing, holy shit, America isn't watching us. I think the 5 million views that they were getting were people like us watching them to see to see how much bullshit they were going to be throwing out of their mouths, right? And I think that's what it was.
Every conservative I know, they started off on Fox News, and when it was going good, they flipped to CNN and MSNBC because they love the tiers, and that's exactly what they did. My dad's like, time for CNN, time for MSNBC, and it was like clockwork. As soon as they called Pennsylvania, he's like, oh yeah.
I agree. Back to the video you played with Trump in the White House. If he was such a threat to democracy as they've been crying for years, he would not be invited. They would have locked his ass out. They would have, the military would have been there, police would have been there. You can't come in. My point is there would have been some sort of show, but there wasn't. Biden was smiling from ear to ear, letting the guy in. Hey, I'm glad you're here. I've been waiting on you.
They pulled the coup on him, and he's just like, if Kamala had gone in,
you're right, because when he actually endorsed her, it was as they were after the last debate that he had done with Trump. Within 30 minutes of them saying, we've got to get him out, he says, hey, I endorse Kamala. He basically said, here, I'm just going to put this right here and see what happens. And it basically was a complete disaster for the Democratic Party. They have lost the ear of the American people. They are just the party of the woke. They're no longer the party of the middle class, of the working class.
Guys, speaking of woke,
the fringe take over.
You mentioned a keyword. I wait for keywords because I have these pictures. I don't know when I'm going to use them. I mean,
that's our military, and I mean, I know the one at the top left is the military. She's director.
These are the people in charge of your military, and you're wondering why countries are laughing at us. They don't respect us. It's unbelievable.
Unfreaking believable, man. Look at me. I am the election.
And speaking, okay, I hate bringing up Prado, but before the election, he said, oh, no, if Trump wins, I'm not going to deny and say it was rigged. And now he's going on his shows calling, oh, it must be rigged.
Oh, it's rigged.
Wait, the party asking for federal voter ID and voter laws wants to rig the election. Come on, people. Like, think logically. When you have people against something, why are you against it? Because you're trying to do something and you can't get away with it then. And I really hope they get the voter IDs put in. And for anybody who says it's racist to have voter ID, to buy alcohol in this country, you need an ID. To drive a car, you need an ID. You need an ID to freaking get on any plane to go anywhere in this country. So don't tell me it's racist to do stuff with an ID. You need an ID for everything. Okay?
What's up, Shadow X? Back to that thing about Trump and Elon. Elon's been like with the family, been around Mar-a-Lago for quite a while and all that kind of stuff. He's not beholden to anybody. I mean, he can't be bought. You can't buy off Elon Musk. If he saw something that was kind of whatever, man, he'd probably be out of there. He'd be like quiet and go back to X and SpaceX, stuff like that, and just be so. He would have seen, maybe during the campaign, he didn't have a lot of time to spend with Trump, but he's been out there ever since the election. So it's like, if he would have seen something, I mean, by now, he would have been like,
yeah, he's not.
If he didn't publicly say it, he would be pulling back,
I love his post, man. Elon, the
I
government.
replied to
machine.
that. I
It's-
replied to that.
Did
Elon was so brave because he had a lot to lose.
Yeah, click on that and see how many messages that if anybody's even looked at my thing. Just click on the scroll
here?
down. I should be somewhere. Oh,
There's like
no, I guess-
8,000 replies.
You don't even follow me, dude. If
Yeah,
you follow
dude.
me, it should be up at the top or
No,
something.
he doesn't like you.
Oh
course I
yeah,
follow you.
I see how it is, bro.
Wait, search Chris Cruz. Let's prove it. Do you follow him?
Yeah, on the screen right now.
Uh-huh.
Search my name.
Just search.
The
We're at
left
up
hand
here.
side.
Oh
Search
man,
Cruz.
I hope.
Yeah, you are so screwed now, bro.
Dude, I swear I follow you, bro. I mean,
Cruise
we messaged-
Social.
Oh,
You follow
yeah.
each other, okay?
You always follow each other. Whew, then you don't see my you know what?
I don't know why. I don't know why I don't see your messages.
What is
maybe
that
it-
one? What is that search thing that searching for porn? What was? Oh, okay, never mind.
Why are you gay? Oh yeah, y'all seen this one right here?
Why are you gay?
Have you guys seen this one? Have you seen this one?
Oh yeah, that guy's serious too. He was like, "Why are you gay? Why are you gay?"
Yeah, that's funny, man. It's funny as shit. All right, but I do
Oh,
follow.
man.
It's in the Bible, man. I have to follow Chris.
What do you guys think of the new defense secretary?
You can't. That's another one. He's up there with Tulsi Gabbard with me. You can't. I mean, I told you the reason why, just because of that. You know. I mean, you
I
can't.
love the We the People. You have one, right? Too.
Yeah.
It's
Showed
actually
off,
a
showed
birthmark. It was a birthmark that he had outlined.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's an awesome tattoo.
Yeah, it's on the same arm. And just so we all know, when all you wannabes go out there and get that tattoo, I'm an OG. I had that for
You're what?
He's an OG. But let's hear him talk for a few minutes. So for anybody who doesn't know him, just to get a sense of him.
The Pentagon is in the book, the exact amount of years, but in the past X number of years, 10, 12, 15, the Pentagon has a perfect record in all of its war games against China. We lose every time inside the Pentagon war games. We know what our real capability. You see, we didn't even get to this part of the war on warriors. I mean, the military-industrial complex, the way we procure weapon systems. We're always the way our system works, the way our bureaucratic system works, where the speed of weapons procurement works. We're always a decade behind in fighting the last war, whereas China, we have what did Rumsfeld say? You go to the war, the army you have. We have the army. China's building an army specifically dedicated to defeating the United States of America. That is their strategic outset. Take hypersonic missiles. So if our whole power projection platform is aircraft carriers and the ability to project power that way strategically around the globe, and yeah, we have a nuclear triad and all of that, but a big part of it. And if 15 hypersonic missiles can take out our 10 aircraft carriers in the first 20 minutes of a conflict, what does that look like?
Wow.
I mean, and if they've already got us by the balls economically, which you pointed out very well, with our grid, culturally, there's plenty of elite capture going on around the globe. I mean, and then microchips and everything. Why do they want Taiwan? They want to corner the market completely on the technological future. We can't even drive our cars without the stuff we need out of China these days. I mean, they have a full spectrum, long-term view of not just regional but global domination, and we have our heads up our asses.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, I have this saved to watch that whole podcast, and I'm sure if you guys have time, anybody watching, watch it. The way he talks about the military, this is a knowledgeable guy, and of course the left was freaking out because they're like, "Oh, he was on Fox News, blah blah blah." The fact is, this man knows what the hell he's talking about, and he was saying, "Get rid of the wokeness. We need to put people in spots where they can be at their best. It's about getting ahead of the game, not always being, like he's saying, 10 years behind, with weapons and all kinds of stuff." It's a very good listen. And I absolutely love the pick.
Yeah, well, I mean, when it comes to me, is that any outsider military person with that kind of knowledge, I'm all for them. But the status quo of the Pentagon and the DOD and all that kind of stuff, same people for decades and everything, I'm not a big fan of. So, I'm more along the people that have been in, learned, got out, all that kind of stuff. So when they're appointed, things like that, I'm a huge fan of that.
I mean, he's very good. Now, do you know who's really good? And this is probably the number one pick for Trump's whole agenda, basically clean up the border. This is a 3-minute video of Tom Homan and comparing him to our current border czar, Kamala Harris, or as she would say, I'm just trying to find out the root causes of immigration. But this video is great, and it sums up what we've had the last 4 years to what we're going to. And this is a very good video.
Up with education, down, down with deportation. Up with education, down, down with deportation.
I got a message to the millions of illegal aliens that Joe Biden's releasing our country in violation of federal law. You better start packing now.
We are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
I hear a lot of people say, the talk of a mass deportation is racist. It's threatening to the immigrant community. It's not threatening to the immigrant community. It should be threatening to the illegal immigrant community.
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
It is not an emergency. We are not facing a crisis.
We have a president of the United States who has created a fiction about a crisis at the border, and he has held up the United States government and its workers around his vanity project called a wall.
To the criminal cartels in Mexico. You smuggled enough fentanyl across this country to kill 148,000 young Americans. You have killed more Americans than every terrorist organization in the world combined. And that's when President Trump gets back in office. He's going to designate you a terrorist organization, and he's going to wipe you off the face of the earth. You're done. You're done.
The idea that he is trying to say that we have people that are trying to invade our country to commit mass crime is a crisis of his own making. I specialize in transnational criminal organizations.
Yeah.
That wall ain't gonna stop them.
No.
There's a 600% increase in the sex trafficking of women and children. Border Patrol has arrested more terrorists coming across the border in 1 month than Trump had in 4 years. This is the biggest national security vulnerability this country's ever had. Donald Trump will be the president. I'll be in the middle of running the biggest deportation operation this country's ever seen.
I am not for a wall. We don't need to build a wall. This is a crisis of his own making.
The president of the United States has a vanity project that he doesn't want to give up.
It's the president's vanity project. This issue is about a vanity project for this president.
Right.
The president's vanity project?
Let me be very clear. I'm not going to vote for a wall under any circumstances. It will not end with a wall. It will not end with a wall.
It will not end with a wall?
No.
All right.
He comes back, I come back, we fix this shit.
Tom Homan's a machine. I mean, you need somebody there with leadership, and I have every ounce of faith in my body that he's gonna.
Oh yeah, same here.
Do what he's gonna do. And you see New York already taking away the food for the illegals, which is the vouchers, $350 a week they were getting to have culturally sensitive food,
and they were throwing it away.
Yeah,
you saw that. I remember seeing the dumpsters of all the food from the hotels in dumpsters. Well, you got people homeless down the street.
But then you got Democratic mayors like, Chicago's mayor today comes out and says, this is wrong. We got to protect these people. Are you a moron? His approval rating is 14% as the mayor of Chicago. Yeah, shut up. People mandated a change. He won. Trump won the most votes in the city of Chicago in like the last 25 years for a Republican candidate. So obviously the people are speaking. It's time that you listen. Safety's first. Chicago's got the worst crime in the world. Like, if you can clean it up at all with getting illegals out of there, it's ridiculous. It just pisses me off. But thank God Trump is back. And I like how she used to say, oh, it's a issue of his own creation. It's not an issue of his own creation.
I used to hate to say, he'd rather run on a problem than a solution. Every time she would say shit like that, I'm just like,
the vanity project.
That's just Rick Scott saying everybody blames Trump for the border bill failing. Trump never called any senators. He goes, that bill was dead on arrival. He goes, I'm on these. And do you know who the bill is? They called it bipartisan. It was basically Rat McConnell and Chuck Schumer wrote something up together. They gave it to the guys at 4 a.m. and said, vote on it by 9 a.m. Of course, the Republicans are like, screw this. It's dead on arrival. As soon as they saw it lets in illegal immigrants.
It was just a chess move. It's just so they could use it against Trump. They knew it was going to get shut down, so they immediately when it was shut down, see Trump called, like you said, Trump called senators.
And they went straight to the lies. They knew the media, the mainstream media would propagandize that shit against Trump. They knew that their candidate could say, look, we offered a border bill. What happened the first 3 years? Oh, we waited until Trump got so bad.
Is Slumdog Millionaire, do you live in Hawaii? I think he does. Did we talk about this? But there's an island in Hawaii that literally all voted for Trump. It's like 43 people. It's like the far. So
it's one of the small Hawaiian islands.
Most left island of the Hawaiian Islands, and 43 people. They all voted for Trump.
Yeah, and you can't tell me if the border wasn't an issue that one of the bluest counties in Texas flipped red and they voted overwhelmingly. Yep. But the View calls them misogynist,
racist.
Like, the fact is,
they're white Hispanics.
The fact is, they bring this stuff up, and the more they bring that stuff up, it's like music to my ears, because then they don't realize why they lost. It's like they'll never win again if you keep saying this kind of stuff. You're trying to divide people, but you're not looking at the root causes of issues at all. And I think Kamala's whole campaign was looking at the solutions to stuff that didn't exist, rather than looking at the real problem, which is the bureaucrats in Washington, D.C.
I think the reason why they double down is they want violence. They want I'm talking about the Sonny Holstons on the View.
Yeah, if we're fighting each other, we're not fighting them.
They don't want violence.
You might be right and everything like that, but they don't want violence with the people that spoke, though, because the people spoke, those are the ones that are at the ranges. Those are the ones that, like the Tulsi Gabbards, that were big fans of Tulsi Gabbard, of Pete Hegseth or whatever. Who's the other guy? Waltz, the congressman, not the governor.
I was like, Waltz, the shotgun guy.
Waltz. Yeah, his name's Waltz. But I mean, so many. These are members, veterans, stuff like that. That are, they have the stuff that you got in the back, behind you. They're packing all that.
The freedom sticks back there. Boom.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Funny story. This joke that Gus says. Have you seen the video of a guy who said he's leaving the U.S. and moving to Hawaii? My friend's mom said, if Kamala wins, I'm moving to Indiana. I started dying. I'm like, that's 45 miles.
But it's redder than most of the state.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but
they're almost
as red. In a way, like, oh, I won't be under her control, and I'm like, she's still the president.
You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see Trump. And this would be another troll, I think. I think that with all the people, especially like Oprah, that was friends with him, but then, campaigned and, all that kind of stuff. I think it would be really cool for the people too, if Trump visited Hawaii and that city that burned and all that kind of stuff. If he went down there and just brought a massive amount of attention to it, just by going down there and walking around, getting his photo op, all that kind of stuff, it'd be a big troll for him. And hopefully there'd be a lot of people that would be like, hey, what's going on down here and what's happened and how much have they rebuilt and what about the people and all that kind of stuff? Because I can't remember, other than Obama vacationing there, what president actually goes to Hawaii. And that would be a good reason. And it would be beneficial for him, Plus, you get a little bit of a troll, and I think it would be super beneficial because, like, when he went down to Puerto Rico and stuff like that, I mean, when he went down there, and that was good for him. Except they're pretty much corrupt. And did you see those things when they had all those field full of water that was just rotting away?
Yeah.
They did, and then they had broke into
Some of the water bottles, they
warehouse that had tons of food, and
toilet paper, and all kinds of essentials. Yeah. It just held up in the stockpiled in warehouses. I remember that. He brought.
And we haven't even talked about the whole garbage going on with FEMA about not going to Trump sign houses and stuff.
Yeah, well, they had a whistleblower, an ex-employee, come out because they singled her out. Apparently, the story I heard was that it was this one lady. No, it turns out it was policy. And I kind of heard her argument today. She was talking to I think Chris Cuomo. I think so. I think she was talking.
No, yeah, but do you think she's trying to save her ass by saying that this directive came from upstairs FEMA?
No, but I think she has evidence of it, and I think it was something that they had talked about all the way up the chain.
Yeah, but her argument, the argument I heard from her, I don't know how recent this was. I just heard her talking. I don't know if she's since retracted or updated this, but she was saying it's not like we were told to avoid Trump supporters. It's just there had already been some Trump supporters that had been kind of like yelling at their employees, yelling at her I guess her team. So they felt scared, and they basically said, "Look, if you don't feel safe, just avoid them." And now if they want to come to us,
policy to avoid confrontation.
Yeah, I get that. I do get that. So if that's the policy, that makes sense. I can respect that. If you're a Trump supporter or MAGA and you're yelling at this FEMA person coming and trying to get some information from you, if they don't feel safe, I get it. However, if it's to lie about it, for FEMA to lie about it is the problem. It's not what she did. She just happened to get caught. I just have a problem with FEMA coming from the top and completely saying we don't know what she's talking about.
But it's one thing if one house is saying they're a Trump supporter there, they're giving you shit. You're like, okay, avoid that house. I could totally understand that. Don't confront if they're talking shit. Go to the next, but don't avoid all Trump supporters.
Yeah, that's the issue. They're doing all of them.
It's like, okay, let's get rid of all Trump supporters. Well, then now you got a problem.
Well, then Trump even said that they were avoiding because people came to him and told him that. He said it, and they fact checked him and said he was lying and all that stuff.
They always do that, and then after the fact, it's like all the time. It's like they get their head handed to them on a silver platter because it's always like they fact check Trump about the crime stats. Oh, 2 weeks later, look what happened. Boom.
Whatever happened to that guy? You think he's going to be fired? Guy on ABC, he needs to be fired.
I don't know. They all got to be fired. Like,
they're
media's got to have a directive.
That's the crazy thing about all this stuff with media. If people on X didn't like post stuff about these outlets like ABC, CBS, CNN, and all that stuff, I would never even know these people. Half the time, when there's someone talking, like in a video or something like that, I have no idea who that person is. Never even heard of them before. And it's like, if they just stopped like posting stuff from those people, the only people that are keeping these outlets alive is the hits that they get when people like post like how stupid or crazy they are or whatever. Because CNN, like I've said that before, it's not even on any channel on any of my TVs I can even go to. And MSNBC.
He said TVs, Greek. This guy here. I got one television, bro. You got TVs in the house.
Oh,
how many rooms? How many damn rooms?
I got
but
a
I digress.
TV in
Go
every
ahead.
room. A TV in every room.
Yeah, this guy. Well, he's got 40-something plus thousand acres.
Well, here's what's funny.
I have
Is
9
these media companies are so stupid. They outed themselves. They don't realize the power.
10.
Of
I have
X.
one in the garage too.
Oh man. So 60 Minutes. They release a clip earlier on X. They think it's not going to
Want
be
a TV?
shared.
I'll send you one.
Yeah, they think
I want
it's
an
not
acre,
going to
bro.
be shared. So 60 Minutes releases their clips, thinks it's not going to be shared, and go crazy because Kamala gave the biggest word salad answer that was so stupid. Then they release the real interview 2 days later, and they're like, wait, that's not the answer she gave to that question. Why would you change it knowing that you already released it on X? You got to be pure stupid. And they don't even realize the power of X anymore, where they're like, oh my God. They thought that everything would just be censored like the old days and, done, hidden, bye-bye, you're lying.
They're ridiculous. But I have to say that it as my age, After I got older, I thought that the media has
You're still
always
young.
been.
Don't listen to Kryptonian.
But then I started thinking, if this is the way the media wasn't this like when I was younger and stuff like that? You know, were they doing that stuff? But then I look at Chris Wallace and his father, Mike Wallace. Mike Wallace was revered, dude. And I am telling you, as when I grew up, he didn't care if you're a Republican, Democrat, whoever you were. His interviews were never like cakewalks, dude. He would go at you and stuff. And he did some great stuff for 60 Minutes. And I see Chris Wallace now. And I mean, the famous one where him and Trump are sitting out in like a garden or something like that outside of the White House. And he's talking about how Wallace is saying that we've had the most deaths per capita in COVID. And he's like, no, we haven't. And then basically Trump fact checks him and he looks like a fool. And then he just doubles and triples
with the receipts.
Yeah, but he triples down on that stuff and he'll go on his show and be like, well, he didn't get the full facts. It's like, wait a minute, what are the full facts? Like, you know, but anyway.
Yeah, like the president of the United States doesn't have the full facts on death counts for certain things. And actually it turned out we had the lowest death rate for COVID patients in the whole world.
But then it opens up another can of worms because it's like, okay, the president is asking for the data real time. So if he gets the data and he tells you that you're wrong, but then you later on go and say that he doesn't have the right data, then it's like, wait a minute. The sitting president of the United States doesn't have the most accurate data. How are you blaming Trump for that? Is it a breakdown in system of the people that work in the White House? Why doesn't he have the most current data? And if he doesn't, your story is just like they were talking about, JD Vance talking about, you know, it's acceptable, like that Martha Raddatz or whatever, that's acceptable that a few apartment complexes, you know, were taken over. But it's okay that the sitting president doesn't have the factual information. The bigger story is, why isn't the sitting president getting the factual information? That's what bothers me about it.
And they didn't report that. Like, if that was truly unfactual information that he got, they should be like, well, what's going on? They didn't even attack that. So now you know that they're just spewing propaganda against him and weaponizing COVID against him, which is exactly what was happening. Because if you looked at data with COVID, I shouldn't even go into this, but like other countries who did nothing, who didn't close down, had the same outcomes basically. So it just shows you, like, when you take data and you actually look at it, it's data doesn't lie. People lie. It's like numbers, data, things don't lie. People lie a lot.
Kryptonian, I just have to interrupt here before we go any farther, but you did not, or are you planning on bringing up Anna Paulina Luna's comments in Congress today in the Senate hearing on UFOs?
What did she say?
Holy smokes,
I did not hear
man!
It.
I might have to find it, but
Heidi Johnson was questioning her and said, "Are you going to bring up some good stuff?" And she's
no, it wasn't Anna Paulina Luna. It was Lauren.
Boebert. Oh yeah. Okay, that's like because I know. I was actually looking at Laura. You're talking about it was recorded through a cell phone or something.
I can play a video to give you time to find it.
I need time to find it because I don't even know.
Before you play the video, I was going to bring up, you guys heard about James O'Keefe actually winning. CNN is now is going to have to stand trial on a defamation.
Yes.
They're already going out of business. I mean, if he gets to sue them and wins for $100 million, they are.
I gotta mute.
They're toast, man. They're toast.
They are toast. So this is a compilation of different media that I'm going to play. It's 2 minutes 22. I named it "He's Back" because basically it's everybody saying Trump can't win, and then it just goes through different things. But this is actually really good video.
Important days in the history of our country. He walked out to a ballroom of his supporters at his resort in Florida to make it official. He is running for president again.
But when you start seeing numbers, real numbers, like what's going on in Georgia, suddenly you feel like telling Democrats that are bitching and moaning about what the Harris campaign's doing, hey, calm down. You know what? Victory is in sight in less than 3 weeks. The opponent is imploding, and Harris is doing better than ever.
You've been out there campaigning with Kamala Harris. How's it looking? Is she going to win? I think so, for sure. I mean, when you go to one of her campaigns, she is just a dynamic speaker. I mean, the crowd is engaged. The energy is off the charts. I mean, if that's any indication, she's going to win easily.
And I have not changed my prediction of a Kamala Harris win.
And it shows Vice President Harris with a 3-point lead over Donald Trump in that state.
But we have him on the run now.
I'm trying to decide if I want to go on record, and the answer is yes. I think that he loses because of this debate performance.
Wow. And make no mistake, we will win. We will win. We will win. Or as a certain former president would say, yes, we can.
Donald Trump, we project, will win in Kentucky, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Mississippi, South Carolina, Alabama, Kansas, Nebraska with its 5 electoral votes, and Wyoming with North Dakota, South Dakota, Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana, Montana, Missouri, Ohio, Idaho, North Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Iowa, Utah, Wisconsin, Arizona.
Trump is the winner in Alaska.
Donald Trump won the state of Nevada.
Michigan projected to go to Trump.
Trump will win the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
The Fox News decision desk can now officially project that Donald Trump will become the 47th president of the United States.
As I was saying.
Yep,
that's 2016 vibes all over again. He can't win. He can't. Boom, 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 boom. And how big of a cuck does Cuban look like? She's so vibrant in her speeches, where she's yelling at the crowd, and I'm like, what are you talking about? He deleted all his tweets, Mark Cuban, that were pro Kamala, and then somebody called him out on it, and he says, "Well, I always do that after elections. I delete all my political tweets."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, or they kick you off for saying he doesn't want strong women around him, and then he picks a powerful lady as his chief of staff. He picks a powerful lady for Central Intelligence and Tulsi Gabbard. Then he's picking powerful ladies all over the place. Alina Habba's right now, I think, the front runner for press secretary. There was a rumor today that it was going to be Tucker Carlson, but that was
no way, man. False. He's building his empire there.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Gus, we were talking about
him on the outside, honestly,
earlier. She, her husband served in the same unit I did. You want to bring this one up? This is going to be good for.
Which one was that one? Go ahead.
Just listen to it. Make sure you can hear it because it starts off quick.
Oh yeah, I actually have a clip.
Now that we have all been cautioned in this committee hearing that the mention of Pentagon's Immaculate Constellation program could put us on a list. Well, I already find myself on many lists, I'm sure. So I speak my mind often. So why not just keep going with it? May as well just go all out and say it. The earth is flat. Birds are government drones. And we've never set foot on the moon. And Joe Biden received 81 million votes in the 2020 election. So let's just see how many lists we could get on here today. But Mr.
I don't know, man. I mean, all I know is that she carries a Glock, so I'm good with whatever she just said.
Do you know her story?
If Biden got 81 million votes,
do you know her story about that whole thing?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
about what she just said.
No, about how she started into Congress because.
Yeah.
Her restaurant and all that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, her restaurant. I remember when she first hit the scene, and I remember some of her campaign ads. She was in her restaurant with she ran a restaurant, her restaurant, family restaurant, and they were all the waitresses were armed. I remember going, hell yeah, and that's not even in Texas.
Yeah.
But that was cool, man. Cool shit to me. We don't open carry here, at least when we have the right to, but I don't recommend it.
Yeah, you were talking about wearing "Make America Great" hats. You couldn't come up to people around here and get on their case about wearing a MAGA hat. I mean, I see them, but there are too many people who got guns, man. You don't want to. You go up to the wrong person and start yelling at them. You're gonna get. They'll be asked questions later, man.
Did you hear about the congresswoman who got elected in Texas? Her business got shut down during COVID. Or wait, was she was
in
putting-
Texas? Was it in Texas?
I think it was.
No, I thought it was in Arizona.
Maybe it was. Yeah, she got elected to Congress.
Yeah, she got locked up. It was during the lockdown. She went to jail for months or whatever, and she got elected to Congress. Hell yeah, man. She's gonna make sure that, at least in her district, so that shit ain't gonna happen again. You know, people have forgotten about COVID.
My friend worries about something like that happening again.
What, COVID?
He goes, now that Trump's got the House, the Senate, they won't be able to attack him in the system and doing something else.
As soon as Trump names Robert Kennedy, all that goes away, because I'm telling you, man, that guy right there will not be having any of that stuff. They radicalized him during COVID. Radicalized. He had some crazy thoughts about some things and different opinions, but man, when COVID hit, Robert Kennedy got radicalized, dude.
Yeah,
and he will not be having any of that stuff, dude.
I'm sure. I mean, I don't think America is going to have that shit again, man. Obviously, that's my biggest concern about the next 4 years, even 8 years. Okay, you know, Trump, this will be his last term, and then if Vance steps up and if he hopefully wins, if he runs and he wins,
that's the great part about it. You don't know if Vance is going to be it. That's all these people that he's bringing in, and all those people on the bench. You got. We were talking about all these appointments that he's got, and then Greek brings up Byron Donalds. It's like, oh yeah, Byron Donalds, and you start thinking about all these people that are on the bench that aren't even on this list. That I could literally see any one of these people running for president next time, and have a good shot at doing it. Vivek Ramaswamy. I mean. These guys,
they're in a good position. The Republican Party, the Democrats, really they're in turmoil. Who do they have? That's like a rising star.
Mm-hmm.
You can honestly
AOC. They're already talking about AOC being the 2028.
Yeah, good luck with that. Like, there's a lot of people on this list that are very good. That you could be like, oh yeah.
And look at all those veterans. Look at all those veterans. You got JD Vance, Pete Hegseth. You got Tulsi Gabbard, Mike Waltz, John Ratcliffe, Lee Zeldin.
Yeah, Lee Zeldin.
He was in the Army. I don't know about Stephen Miller. Tom Homan's, I mean, he's not a veteran that I know of, but he's been with Border Patrol for like 400 years.
He was a police officer. He was a police officer. You know, he's actually, he's born
the only thing that makes me sad about Vivek being on Doge is now he's taken himself out of the running for the Senate seat in Ohio.
Yeah, but that just holds him back. It's a 4-year appointment, so I think it holds him back. I think that what he does. See, this is a perfect opportunity for him, because this is why I say that Trump has put people in position that if they do what he said that they wanted to do, and all this stuff, Vivek Ramaswamy is going to look like a freaking hero to everybody.
That is 100%.
So, and then JD Vance, just be a good vice president, be there, speak well.
Speaking of that seat, do you have any names floated around? Because you're from Ohio, any big names you think can fill that seat?
No, it would be local. The attorney general is probably the closest one, David Yost, but I honestly don't think it really matters, because the position's going to be somebody that votes Republican for 4 years. And unless they do the same thing that Trump's doing here, unless they start building a huge name brand over those 4 years, there's going to be a totally different election in 4 years from now for a new
Makes
Senate.
sense.
So,
speaking of building, you hear what Trump said. I saw a video drop today of when he talked about infrastructure, and he's talking about a lot of the government land out there and how we haven't built a new city in decades, whatever, centuries, whatever. But he's talking about building new cities for the future of our kids. If he pulls that shit off, that's amazing. I mean, if you look at what China's doing and Dubai, they're building, what they can build in Dubai. We haven't built anything like that, and since New York, right? So
I mean, Dubai has the amount of expansion in 15-year period of time is
who's F.E. Dave?
That's going to be Greek's nemesis.
Is that
Flat Earth Dave?
Flat Earth Dave?
What's up, Slub?
He
Yeah,
launched a crypto?
I'll have to check it out, man. Speaking of crypto, we're at 90K for Bitcoin for all the BTC lovers out there.
Isn't December the final experiment for that? Yeah, flat Earth stuff. Yeah, so now he's creating a token called
We're under 90, by the way.
Yeah, well, it's got to correct a little bit, but
It just
it's a new
dipped.
floor. It's a new floor. It's all good. I took a little profit, of course. I mean, I learned.
I didn't take nothing.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because you got
I don't-
gold.
I don't take
me
nothing.
too, but I'm just saying I'll take a little bit.
Well, I just want to know. I'm selling 50% at 100K. That's always been my first mark. And then at about 115 to 120K, thinking about selling the other 50%. I mean, my average price is 25K. So I'm still 4X on all of it but I got goals, people. Okay?
I broke off some
Yeah, but
of my BTC to buy a house.
you really should be waiting for Trump on this. And that's why I say that the next 4 years will really tell on Bitcoin. Is I have no plans even the next 4 years, but I'll tell you what, I'll take profit off on
without that Bitcoin money, I can't buy what I want to buy.
Okay, but hear me out first. If Trump follows through with making Bitcoin a reserve, you literally would be you'll be passing up on an opportunity that we're talking about 100,000 is pretty good. Your Bitcoin will skyrocket after that. So if that ends up being something that Trump does when he's talked about doing it when he ran, I mean, unless he doesn't want to, but you have Elon Musk in his ear about how great crypto is. He's got to be talking about crypto because Elon loves crypto, making Bitcoin a reserve
currency.
A reserve currency, dude. Could you imagine what Bitcoin would be?
Trump actually said that he actually said that just a few weeks ago, long after he met with the crypto guys.
I'm not planning on living my life off of what he may or may not do, but I'm pretty certain that I'm totally fine with holding my Bitcoin at least past the next
90K. Look at that. Oh,
yep.
I cursed it.
I made a prediction to Con, right? Well, not that it means anything. I've always been wrong, but I think it's going to be 100K by Thanksgiving. I think that Black Thursday or Black Friday.
I think the ETFs are keeping this down because of how they have to do their books and orders. So that's what's keeping it from flying right now.
Yeah. Well,
I agree with you.
I think the opposite. I think that people are holding. That's why it's staying where it's at.
Sure. Yeah. Everyone's waiting for it to be 100K so they can flip it. Right. And,
I think that if you think about it, the people that want to buy mass quantities of Bitcoin will want to see a run on Bitcoin to get it. I mean, because I truly do believe that Trump and the way that he's setting things up is something that's going to be a campaign promise, and he's going to be one of those ones. Like I said, he's going to go around and he's going to do all the tours after he's president for the pat on the back and all that kind of stuff. And Bitcoin, he's going to be like, look what I did for your Bitcoin. And he's going to make Bitcoin skyrocket because they're going to make it a reserve currency. That's why I say that if you want to swing trade Bitcoin, probably a good idea. Just do the charts and do your strategy. But the long-term goal for me is to hold Bitcoin for as long as possible. And at the same time, if he doesn't do it, I'm sure Bitcoin will be higher than it is now.
All my issues would be solved if you just sent me a Bitcoin, all my issues.
But then what would you learn from that?
I would learn that Chris is a wise man.
Well, then you would learn that my children will be like, where is this Greek? Yeah. And my son knows who you are, so he might be like,
That's true.
Hey.
Yeah,
we broke bread together, okay?
Yeah.
What have you done, sir? Kryptonian.
Exactly, Kryptonian.
You didn't even come visit me.
Hey, you gave me a 5-minute notice, man.
So
I'll go to Chicago, man, but you're like, don't come here, it's dangerous. You're right, I can't take my guns with me.
That is true. I did give him a 5-minute notice would be an understatement. I was at the bar when I texted you. the bar I was at.
Yeah, and I was like, my wife was like, where, what?
But
Okay,
I was just looking at that. Yep.
Yeah, Gus says that, speaking of guns, right? So didn't he mention that whatever your state gun laws will be honored? And he's talking about reciprocity. I can't even if you can say the damn word, but you'll be able to, got tongue tied there for a minute. But like if you have a concealed carry here in Texas, I can go into any state and the state should honor it federally, which would be amazing, right? There's only a couple of states I can go into. I not have to worry about anything. But he didn't actually say that. There was a video going around, but he actually said that during his 2016, during his first administration.
No, check it out. He put it out in 2022 with a bunch of messages that he posted on Rumble, and they're just now surfacing again. And people are saying Trump just dropped this video about how he's going to get rid of the Department of Education and all that. He did it in a series of a bunch of videos, but he was banned from everywhere. So they're on Rumble and True Social. So if you go look it up, it's in 2022 when he said that.
I have the Department of Education video.
Yeah, reciprocity, because you can even see it. He's like a lot tanner. I think he's actually a little thinner. I think he gains weight from all that crap that they eat on Trump Force One. Did you hear about Robert Kennedy talking about, man, it's either like Chick-fil-A or McDonald's.
Chick-fil-A or McDonald's on every seat. It's gourmet meals on Trump Force One.
Yeah.
The Nelk boys were like, man,
we Trump told him to stay away from McDonald's and oil, and he goes, and he can have.
He says, I've never seen Donald Trump drink water. All he drinks is Diet Cokes.
Somehow that guy's got energy, like
I don't know. He does it at that age. I know that'd wear me out.
Well, so you're saying the Department of Education video is an old one?
Yes, it's from 2022. All those videos, that whole thing.
So he's had these ideas since 2022, and
it's a series. It's a series of them, but he was banned everywhere, and they couldn't put it out. But then when he got back on, these videos are coming out. I actually think if you go on Rumble and you look up Donald Trump, you can go back there and see they were a couple years old.
Let me see.
And one other thing I'll be doing very early in the administration is closing up the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., and sending all education and education work and needs back to the states. We want them to run the education of our children because they'll do a much better job of it. You can't do worse. We spend more money per pupil by 3 times than any other nation, and yet we're absolutely at the bottom. We're one of the worst. So you can't do worse. We're going to end education coming out of Washington, D.C. We're going to close it up, all those buildings all over the place, and you have people that in many cases hate our children. We're going to send it all back to the states. Thank you very much.
It's a year ago. I have it all up right now.
Whew. Speaking of Department of Education, biggest waste of money ever, should go back to the states. I agree with him on that. And he does look younger in that video. Holy crap.
See, they're all from a year ago. He put all these out.
I didn't know this. I thought he was just filming this now, saying his plans, because it's the same exact stuff that a year ago. So this man doesn't change his just doesn't change his. It's like he knows what he wants to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So they keep going, and each one, a couple, I mean, some of them are real short or whatever, but these are all filmed when he was talking about Agenda 47. See, that's one thing that really bothered me, because people were like, Project 2025. And I'm like, wait, he's got Agenda 47. He's had it for a couple of years. It's been on his website, all that kind of stuff. But it's kind of neat to go back and like check some of these out, because they are pretty cool.
It's crazy that, that people like to lie.
Yeah. So
isn't Judge Marchand supposed to give a ruling this week?
Yeah,
he's
going
15th, right? Was it the 15th, or was it delayed?
I have no clue what date, but they got to do something with that, because
I don't think he's going to. I don't think
he's not going to sentence him to anything.
He's not going to throw it out. He's not going to drop it. He's just going to hold it out. So that Trump can think about this through. I mean, if anything, the most he can do is just hold it, do a stay on it, and so that Trump has to think about this through his entire term, and at least that way they get to say he's a convicted felon, because if they throw it out, they can no longer say that, even though he's not truly, because he hasn't been sentenced. But but the media has been saying it as if he's already been sentenced. You know,
Wouldn't it be cool if Trump and Biden talked about the some pardons, like pardoning his son and brother, and then
as soon
Trump
as Trump's
being
walking
pardoned
in,
by
and
Biden?
Biden's like, he's smiling because he's like, he's going to pardon my son. So
I wonder if they talked about that today. Because as soon as they started talking, the cameras went out and it was closed door meeting, just the two of them. I'm wondering what they talked about.
couple of hours, from what I understand.
Trump's like, I'm going to put
an hour and a half. You know what
I'm
Trump
gonna
likes to
hand-
talk. And do you know the handshake? Trump's, you could tell he's such a power. He always does the pool to let him know I'm the boss.
I remember when Kamala, when he did the debate with her, how the media was just like, oh, she walked right up to Trump and put her hand out, and Trump was just standing there, and they're like, he was scared, he wasn't expecting this strong woman. No, Trump goes to nobody, you go to him, and that was a power move from him. I'm not going to you, come to me, and she like ran across the stage. That's how I saw it.
I saw it as a power move.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to stand there, make you come to me. You want to shake my hand, you shake my hand.
Yep.
That's my power move at a party.
That's what men do. That's what men do.
Let people come to me. I don't say hi to you. Come to me, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And then nobody
Trump
says hi to me.
Trump and Elon Musk showed up at an event, the A1 policy event at Mar-a-Lago. They're having like some type of a event, and they just
They're
surprised showed
besties
up.
now, those two. They go everywhere together. They
What
were
Musk said
golfing on
that he's
Sunday together.
first buddy.
Yeah, it's first buddy. They were golfing
buddy.
together. So Trump finally golfed again with his granddaughter, Kai Trump. And, they were on the course, and Elon was there. Elon was in the family picture. Did you see that on election night? Kai Trump put out she put out a video blog of election night, and I watched it. And basically Elon is like standing off to the side, letting the family take their pictures. And Trump goes, come on, Elon, you and your son, your family now, let's go. Get in this picture. So it was Trump who demanded Elon be in these pictures. So whenever you see Elon and his son just with all Trump's family, that's because Trump wanted Elon involved. It's their family.
There you go. This is Trump just a few minutes ago.
Oh, man. Oh, he's got his opera singer, huh?
Trump and Elon. Elon Musk. Yeah, they weren't planning on being there, but they said that he just showed up. The both of them showed up.
Gotta love it. Elon's done so many good things this cycle, and thank God he bought X, because just think of where we would be with censorship and the roads we'd be going down. It would be so bad.
What do you think about this election? There's going to be a new election on Friday. You guys heard about it? There's like a new. Who do you think's going to win? You think this guy's going to win right here?
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh geez! Oh, what are you looking at? Oh,
well, I guess we're fighting on Friday, right?
Tyson.
Yeah. Tyson, and yeah. For me, this guy, I'm from this generation where this guy is the best fighter ever in my
Oh
lifetime.
my gosh, you guys! I know you guys.
My hero as a kid.
Are they allowing knockouts in the fight? I didn't.
It's exhibition. Last I heard, it was exhibition. It's 12, 15 rounds. I mean, they're not wearing face masks or whatever headgear, not like that. But
yeah, you shouldn't even box if you're wearing headgear.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not like a real. I would say it's going to be a real fight, but it's not like a, like a heavyweight rules. Or the boxing rules. It's going to be exhibition. But I hope Tyson knocks him out.
Hey, there you go. Look at this troll. He's learning from the master. He said the main issue with Matt Gaetz is that he used his office to prosecute his political opponents and authorize federal agents to harass parents who were peacefully protesting at school board meetings. Oh, wait, that's actually Merrick Garland, the current attorney general.
Yep. Speaking of Garland,
JD is amazing.
aren't they going after Polymart?
Yeah,
Poly Market?
they busted in and took the founder of Polymark's phone.
Oh man.
Oh, they're going after Polymarket, but he was schmoozing with Kamala like 5 days before the election. So like what like
Yeah, no, he was with Walls at that
Walls, yeah.
fundraiser.
So it's like, oh, we're mad. Your stuff was wrong. Yeah.
Well,
if he
they were
wins-
like the
I
most
agree with you guys.
accurate.
I
and it
totally agree.
pisses
If he
them
wins,
all
they're going to
off.
say he beat a 58-year-old. And if he loses, 58 years old and he looks like that.
Yeah, what am I doing with my life?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a flabby 37-year-old. It's not my fault. I lost 140 pounds.
I'm telling
no
you,
need to
us
lie.
Gen
I'm a
X
husky.
people,
I'm a husky
we don't mess
47.
around, dude.
Yeah. Are you Gen X? Yeah, you're Gen X, right?
Hell yeah, I'm Gen X.
Well, I'm Gen X too, so I'm not too far behind you.
We don't fuck
And
around.
it's
What do you
Gen-
mean
and
you're
it's
Gen
Gen
X? You're like Gen Z.
Yeah, you're Gen Z.
You're like
man.
you graduated high school like last year or something.
I don't even know these gens.
You're not even in it. You're like little G, little Gen.
I'm a little gen.
What is the current one like?
We got the
right now?
capital letters of the alphabet. You got the little letters. What was that?
The current one is Gen Stupid and Woke.
No, the little babies.
Gen
Those are
W.
the little babies. What's the
What are the
current
little-
one?
What is that?
Gen Alphabet.
I don't even know what gen
Gen
I'm
Y
in.
plus? I don't know.
I don't know.
Gen Y plus 1.
What's up, Moki? Yeah, I'm deep into Gen X.
The last year for Gen X is 1980. I thought it was like in the 70s. Like 70s.
I am not a boomer.
Chris is a
You're a boomer, bro. You're
I'm
a
Gen
boomer.
X, and
I'm not a boomer.
So 1987, what gen is that? Somebody in the comments. I want to know what
I
gen.
don't know, but
87,
you're-
that's millennial, right?
Ugh.
Yeah, no, I
So
think
now when I make
you're-
fun of the millennials, I got to be a part of them. I don't like that.
Some dog, you be careful, man. Call me a boomer.
You're a baby boomer, bro.
Chris is a boomer.
Yeah, it says Gen X is 65 to 80, as far as 1965 to 1980. So
I am
I'm a Gen X, man.
brother.
I'm a Gen X. Yep. You said 87?
About what do you were born when? Get out of here.
I'm born in 77, man. 77. The best year
No way.
ever.
Dude,
What's
I used to date a girl.
87 is the best year ever.
77.
You're dating a girl who's 77? What'd you say?
No, that was born in 77.
Oh, really? Yeah. Best year of my life. I tell my mom all the time, that was the best year of your life, Mom. 1977. She agrees.
Some dog, you were born in 65. You're closer to a boomer than I am, brother. he's like barely out of the boomer. He just missed it by a couple.
He's
months.
like boom, little B, man. He barely made that one.
He was like the first. No, 73. Okay.
You know, the Gen X are the ones that, we talked about those last week. They're the ones that actually gave Trump this election. I believe they were the ones that came out, man. And we said that tired of this WS woke shit, man.
Because we don't like this stuff.
Yeah.
We don't. My generation, we grew up like on MTV. We didn't care. Listen, my generation. I'm telling you, every person that I know from my generation, we all feel the same way. We don't care if you're gay. We don't care if you're black. We don't care anything about you. We just care if you're a good person and you want to have a good time.
Yep.
You know,
and correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. I mean, we roll with Gen X's. At least I was raised. My dad worked. I was single home. My dad. I love my dad. He worked, and I basically had to take care of myself. As he's at work, I'm learning how to do everything on my own. So I basically, if it's going to be, it's up to me. I had to make it happen. So, so when I look at the generations now, where they're entitled, they're sensitive about everything. Everything bothers them, and they can't make decisions. They need safe spaces and medication. I'm like, what the hell y'all talking about, man? I mean, we just freaking put some dirt on it, man.
Fucking mean things about me.
You can't possibly be that guy, Nah, you definitely can't be that guy. But I mean, I guess what I'm saying is that, so we don't care about your what, like you said, Chris. I don't care what color you are, what your beliefs are, and all that crap. Just look, as long as you're a good person, and I think one thing that holds that all together is that you take care of yourself. You're responsible for you. I'm gonna do me, you do you. Don't make stupid choices where I got to come in and take care of you. You know what I mean? So
100%.
Yeah. So that's basically
we had no time for that. And I'm telling you what, if you go back and you think about your history, like you think back high school, grade school, and all that kind of stuff, we hated bad people. If you were a bad person, dude, we hated you. We hated the bullies. We
they stopped the party. That's right.
We hated.
Everybody hated the bullies, and now it's
anybody-
like you got to be mindful of their feelings.
Yeah. It's like you gotta
Are
be.
you
We
serious?
didn't care. We'd be like, "Hey, he's bullying you." Then half the class would go beat him up, and be like, "Stop being a bully." We hated people that were bad and mean to other people, no matter where you went. And everybody just was like, "Man, have a good time. Go home and watch MTV. Go home, Go home and watch,
MTV, those were the
The Price
days.
is Right, man."
I still
We were
watch
like,
right.
and we played out in the street, and we all hung out together. We all had our bikes in front of someone's house. We all went.
Every night
played
after
in the
school, I
woods.
was on a bike with my friends. We'd go like miles away from our house. Now, getting these kids away from the video games and out of the house is like a chore. You guys got to be back, and it's just the way we're living now. Like
We used to ride our bikes with our BB guns, and if I think back, there's like 10 of us that lived on the street, bunch of boys, couple girls, stuff like that. We would be riding our bikes with our BB guns slung on our backs, going out into the woods for target practice. And I'm telling you right now, if you took a picture of us back then, you'd think we were like a small militia going somewhere. Everybody'd be freaking out. It
I
was
would be
like,
scared of your militia.
yeah, and like the family's trucks and stuff. Every person had a truck, and every person had 2 shotguns in the rack back window. It was like no matter where you went.
We got to bring back the American dream.
Yeah, and air conditioning. Hardly anybody had air conditioning. We were all outside playing.
That's where I draw the line.
We'd swim in lakes. We'd drink water out of faucets.
You are a
and stuff.
wild man.
Yeah. And we didn't care. We didn't care about people unless they were mean and evil. If they were mean and
Drink
evil,
out of the
we'd
school
come in.
water fountain. Yeah, you were a rebel.
Yeah, of course. And you know what we did? You know what was crazy about that? We used to drink out of school water fountain, and we'd hold the water for the person behind us.
That's right.
That's how we were. We would hold the water, the button for it, like if it was a turn one on the side or if it was a button on the spout, we'd hold the button for them so they could drink water.
I didn't
And when
trust
they did-
anybody to hold the button because they would hit it hard and it would fly in your face.
No, we
You ever
do that to goof off with our buds and everything.
Yeah.
But usually,
So my buddy
usually-
was going to hold the thing. I'd push him out of the way because I knew what he was trying
You
to
can't.
do.
You get, but this is how you'd fix that because your buddies they do that and then they'd like twist it and it'd go up in your face and you'd be like, stop messing around. And then what happens is they get a little bit of water and you stand up and spit it in their face and then they wouldn't do it anymore. So it was like we took care of our own problems. But
Chris sounds like my childhood.
yeah, that's what we and I think the childhood now I see like my son and
That's why
my
we survived
grandkids and
COVID.
stuff. They don't care. They don't care. It's just, if you're mean and you're not nice to people, then nobody wants to be around you. And that's the way we treat it. We didn't have time for that kind of stuff. We were raising ourselves and we lived off of, we thought MTV was the greatest thing ever. I remember when MTV launched. It was just a different world back then. Now it's like,
Totally different world.
you got to walk on eggshells around each other. Do you know who Justine Bateman is?
She's Justin. Oh,
She's the sister. She's a real life sister of Jason Bateman. Okay.
Okay.
Justine Bateman was the sister to Michael J. Fox on Family Ties. Right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember.
And everybody loves Justine Bateman, and even over the years, still love her. Now she's kind of conservative. She's more like Robert Kennedy type fan and Nicole Shanahan type fan, but she's all right. She does a lot of writing in Hollywood and everything like that. And she says that she's glad that she doesn't have to walk on eggshells anymore because for like the last 4 years she's been doing that. And they're just roasting her over the coals like there's like something's evil about her. And I'm like,
that's
I replied to one thing that she said, and I'm like, you guys just don't understand Justine Bateman because she is like the first crush of almost every Gen X guy out there. She was on TV, and we were like, who's Michael J. Fox's hot sister? And we thought it was, those were times back then. The movies, TV shows, they taught us a lesson, and they took a middle of the road approach. I remember most of my life, I thought it was illegal. But when I got into my 20s, maybe 30s, before I realized that most TV shows, if you look in the 80s and before that, you didn't know what political party people were. On the movies, if they had a president there, they never said the Republican president, Democrat. It was just the president, and people would they just walk. You never knew if it was a Republican or a Democrat. But nowadays, it's almost like they make it like this person's crazy, so they have to be Republican type thing. But
they'd be true about me. I'm nuts.
So, and there's another guy that's on MTV. I forget his name. Kurt Loder, I think. Here's something for you Gen X people. Kurt Loder is 70 years old. He was like one of them young guys on MTV VJs and all that kind of stuff. And you're like, hey.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
He's still trying to figure out what MTV is, Chris.
Yeah. Video Killed the Music Star. Yeah. I remember seeing that. And you know what seemed cool about that is we were playing outside and I was visiting family in New Jersey. We were playing outside and that MTV came on and we saw it live. We were like, oh my God, this is great. And they're like, yeah, they're downtown. And if you went outside and like the back of their house, you see on this hill, you can see downtown New York. And we watched a couple of videos and then we went out and we're like, they're over there. That's where MTV's at. And you can see like New York and Manhattan and all that. But
those are the
Rich Hudman knows what I'm talking about. He's 70 years old.
Dang, man.
Last Man Standing. I like that show. That when Tim Allen did what was that? Tool Time. Was it called
Tim the Tool Man Taylor? I love that show, bro.
What was the name of that show though? Was it
Tool Man? I think it was Tool Time.
Tool Time?
No, it was
Home Improvement.
Home Improvement.
Home Improvement. Yeah.
Dude, that show was hilarious, man.
I like him still. He does great.
There it is. This is how we see you guys, Greek.
Sanford and Son.
I'm not sure. I just spoiled. Actually, supposed to pay.
All in the Family, Jeffersons, classic.
Dude, All in the Family, man. Archie,
Carol
Bunker,
O'Connor, hilarious.
Yeah, that show is hilarious, man. I know that show came on. I guess it was early 70s. So I grew up watching, of course, reruns. But my dad used to watch it, and he used to tell me all the time that you watch this stuff. It's going to teach you something.
Make TV great again.
You know what's crazy about that show? You got an old white guy. He's kind of he's racist. He's very racist, but very like American, whatever. And he's got a neighbor, he's a black guy. And
he's not racist. He's prejudiced.
Both of them are kind of racist and all that.
Yeah,
kind of
I know, right?
George Jefferson, and he's like, "Oh, look at you honky," you know.
Yeah, crackers, dude. I love the Jeffersons, man. I love the Jeffersons. That's my favorite.
The young guy that ends up marrying Carol O'Connor, Archie Bunker, his daughter, the person that marries him is Rob Reiner, that marries his daughter. And Rob Reiner is referred to as Meathead in that show. And he's always just getting destroyed because Rob Reiner is just like a real liberal in the show. And you know, he's always
like him in real life.
Yeah. And then when he posts stuff now, when I see somebody says Rob Reiner said this, all I think about is that annoying Meathead from All in the Family from the 70s.
He's annoying, man.
He was such a goofy looking guy and he was such a jerk, dude. But
yeah, I remember that guy, man. He actually played himself in real life.
Guys, I gotta head on out. Unfortunately.
Before you do that, I just we should go out and a stomp, I think. You know, everybody, you guys ready to do this? You guys ready? We have to put up with this shit right here for 4 years.
Please, let's stop playing her shit.
Thank God.
Turn that into this now.
No.
America, we dodged a bullet, man. We dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
Dodged a bomb.
We actually, he dodged a bullet, and now we dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
So we both have dodged bullets together.
Yeah, he took one for the team, man.
Yeah. I got a nice video that we're going to play on our way out. Appreciate all you who watch me. If you're on X, please like, subscribe, come to my YouTube, please. Help a brother out so that I can become big and famous. I'm kidding. I don't.
Yeah, follow my X too. I never.
That's right, Rich. I remember those shows, man. Team Wolf.
Follow my X's.
Yeah, we got all our X's on our underneath our name. So go follow everybody's X.
Yep. Hit me up.
I'm up to 12,900 people on X. We're going to hit 13,000 this weekend. I'm growing strong. I'm doing Patriot trains, follow for follows. A lot of people are actually, I'm getting more engagement now.
Yep.
I'm going to try and get monetized on X. That's where my
I would
goal.
say this, Greek and Chris, you know, as we get closer to inauguration day, I think it's going to heat up. I don't, it's too quiet in the country. I don't think the left's just going to, I think they're boiling right now. So hopefully we get to talk about more things.
Hopefully I can get you guys a live stream from the inauguration. I want to go. I just want to convince one of my friends to join me.
Yeah, I think my family is going to go. I think like all my family, like not all of them, but like two.
Some are
that'd be
worried.
awesome.
Some of
If
my
you
friends
go-
are
if you
worried
go,
there might be
man,
violence and stuff. You know, left lunatics there, and I'm like, I don't care about that. I'm a single dude. But
yeah, if you go, I'll definitely stream it, man. So I mean, I won't be able to go, so we'll broadcast you live on.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll be live from the inauguration. That should be a good time.
Here's another one. Elon Musk, speaker at Mar-a-Lago says, "Where's the George Soros of the right?" And Elon Musk raised his hand.
Hell yeah, man.
Gotta love Elon Musk. And speaking of Elon Musk, he's going to take us out with our very own AOC. So until next Wednesday, I'll be on Friday for my normal live. I didn't do a Monday live because I just need a day off.
I hear you.
But here's AOC and Elon
Yes.
taking us out.
I apologize.
No, he's perfect.
I'm breaking all the rules. I'm breaking all the rules.
Well, I guess we might make some mistakes. Who knows?
I think one of the biggest problems we have in DC is that everyone's egos are too big.
I actually just prefer to have no titles at all.
You're opening yourself up.
I'm just being me. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.